Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the Dugout Report, MLB Dugout Report, brand new podcast brought to you by the NW Sportscast. So this is a new channel that we're starting off here. We're going to talk just about baseball. It's called the Dugout Report, and here we go. So I'm going to be doing player rankings. I'm going to be doing a weekly video as well, but this is my first player rankings. It's on first baseman, and let's get it right into it. Number 30, Evan White. Seattle Mariners. This one pains me. I am a Mariners fan. You can tell by the Mariners hat. They are my favorite team, but Evan White has just not been good this year. He's hitting .202 on base percentage and player score of 84.3. That's the lowest player score there is. And just so you guys know, these player scores, I have created them. And if you want a more detailed video on how I came up with these player scores, then you can comment down below and ask for that, and I will get that to you guys if you want to see just how I did decide on these player scores, because it is a pretty interesting and pretty lengthy process. But yeah, that's he has the lowest player score. He is number 30. Number 29, we got Jake Bauers, Cleveland Indians. Key stat for him is he's only scored 7 runs all season. That is the lowest of any starting first baseman. That is pretty sad that he's only scored 7 runs, and the Indians kind of suck. Jake Bauers is just there as a placeholder anyways. He's not going to be there next year, and he's not going to be a starter next year. His career is coming to an end. Number 28, Mike Ford, New York Yankees. So he is no longer their starter, but he has played the most innings there so far. As far as I know, at least, he has still played more there than Luke Voit. He was basically just filling in for the injured Voit, and yeah, his key stat is just 5 RBI. I mean, you cannot have that, especially for a team as offensively powered as the Yankees. 5 RBI is just not going to cut it. Number 27, Daniel Vogelbach, Milwaukee Brewers. He's actually doing better than Evan White, which is unfortunate because he used to be a Mariner. Key stat, though, for him is that just 4 home runs, and for a guy his game relies so much on the power hitting aspect of it, 4 home runs is just not enough for him, and that's why he is also probably not going to be a starting first baseman for much longer. Number 26, Jonathan Schoop on the Detroit Tigers. He was a second baseman for the longest time. Now he's kind of moved over to first because Willie Castro's at second. Key stat I have as a negative 1.7 ultimate zone rating. A guy that, early in his career, Schoop was actually quite a good defender, but now he's towards the very bottom of the stats in defense, and he does have a player score of about 107, which is not terrible, but number 26, this guy's not going to be a starter for much longer. Number 25, Joey Votto of Cincinnati Reds. Key stat for him is just that 305 on base percentage. Votto's been injured for a while, so he has not played a ton this year. He's played only about half the games. And he's been struggling, and it's sad to see for a guy whose on-base percentage is usually so high, usually above 400. This year at 305, that's not very good, and it looks like Votto's career is coming to an end. Number 24, Bobby Dalbec, Boston Red Sox. Dalbec's a guy who a lot of people thought could be a really good prospect, and he still might, but this year hasn't been all that great. Key stat for him, I have those as 24 RBIs. Not a lot of RBIs, but he does have better clutch hitting than he does non-clutch. I think his batting average with runners in scoring position is a whole lot better than his batting average without, so that's the good news for Dalbec. Number 23, you got Yandy Diaz, Tampa Bay Rays. Now, Yandy's actually moved over to third base ever since Ji-Man Choi has returned, but he is currently, I have him currently as the starting first baseman because he's played the most innings there. Key stat for him is just the 1 home run. That's the lowest of any starting first baseman in the MLB. And yeah, 1 home run is just not enough. So this is a guy who, hopefully his defense will be better over at third base, and he can prove that he deserves more playing time. But when you only have 1 homer, that's not really worthy enough to be a first baseman. Number 22, Miguel Sano, Minnesota Twins. Key stat for him is at 267 on base percentage. That is just terrible, and it has been going down and down ever since. Sano is falling quick in these rankings. At the start of the season, I had him in my top 10. Now he's down at number 22, and he can continue falling if this continues because he has not been very good this year at all. Number 21, Colin Moran, Pittsburgh Pirates. Key stat for him is just 10 runs scored, and that's probably because the Pirates have been such a team lacking offense. He just hasn't had anyone to hit him in. He's actually been all right. He's been one of their brighter spots on the team, but just still not enough offense from the Pirates. Number 20, Eric Hosmer, San Diego Padres. This is one that's going to get me in trouble because a lot of people really like Eric Hosmer this year, but Eric Hosmer has not been that great. Look at this. I have him as his key stat because this is one of the big reasons why I have him sort of low, is that ultimate zone rating of negative 4.2. And just so you guys know, ultimate zone rating, it matters. It matters what your ultimate zone rating is, because that's basically ranking how many runs that you have allowed on defense or how many runs you prevented. He's allowed a full 4.2 runs by bad defense, and this is a guy who, again, early in his career, he was good at defense. Not anymore. Eric Hosmer, number 20. 19, I got Josh Bell, Washington Nationals. He's been fine, better than I expected. He scored 28 runs, which is quite a few for a team that hasn't been that great. But yeah, he's just nothing to write home about. It's Josh Bell. Number 18, Pete Alonso, New York Mets. Hopefully Alonso will get going because I like the Mets and I like Alonso. I like his nickname, the Polar Bear. But he sat there right there, just 7 home runs on the season. That is not enough for a guy who 2 years ago set the rookie record with 52 dingers, now only at 7. What has gotten into Pete Alonso? Number 17, CJ Cron, Colorado Rockies. Key stat for him is that negative 2.3 ultimate zone rating. He has not been good at defense, and it is hurting. He's been okay with the long ball, but that's probably because he plays in Colorado at Coors Field. Other than that, batting average pretty low. On-base percentage is fine. Nothing to write home about. He's pretty average this year. Number 16 is Pavin Smith, Arizona Diamondbacks. Pavin Smith, I don't think he's starting anymore. I'm pretty sure he's moved back to a utility role because Christian Walker's back. But for now, I got him at number 16. Key stat for him, he has 3 triples. He leads all first basemen in triples. That's pretty cool. Number 15, Brandon Belt, San Francisco Giants. Belt has been on a resurgence this year. Not as good as last year, but he's still been pretty hot. 474 slugging. That is really, really good to see from Brandon Belt, a guy who previously in his career, he was known for hitting a lot of home runs, hitting a lot of power. He kind of dropped off the past couple of seasons, but he's back, and it's glad to see that he's doing good. Number 14, Jesus Aguilar, Miami Marlins. Key stat for him is those 44 RBI. He hasn't hit for much average this year, hasn't had a great on-base percentage, but he is getting a lot of RBIs. He's coming in clutch when it matters. That 44 RBI, that is really, really good to see from him. For a team that doesn't have a ton of offense, he's really leading the way. Then we got Paul Goldschmidt, St. Louis Cardinals at number 13. This is a guy who I had in my top 5 at the start of the season. He's down at 13, but I do think he will pick it up. Key stat for him, 406 slugging, which is a little bit lower than his normal marks, but still not bad. Number 12, Anthony Rizzo, Chicago Cubs. This is a guy who, that 355 on-base percentage, that's one of the better on-base percentages of all the first basemen. And if not for kind of lacking in not offense, but lacking a little bit in the power numbers, Anthony Rizzo would definitely be top 10. This is another guy that I had in my top 5 preseason, and I think he definitely can get back there. Number 11, Nate Lowe, Texas Rangers. He's been a real pleasant surprise for the Rangers this year, who haven't had a ton of good stuff to say, but Nate Lowe has been one of their better numbers. Key stat, I have it with his 61 games started. He actually leads the league in games started. He has not missed a start yet this season. And player score, you see 170.7, not bad at all. Number 10, I got Freddie Freeman, Atlanta Braves. He won the MVP last year. He's been a little bit down, hasn't hit for a very good average. On-base percentage is still all right, and that key stat there with the 13 home runs. So he's hitting for power. I think he'll pick it up as the season goes on, and he's playing solid defense as well. That's Freddie Freeman. Number 9, Matt Olson. He's been hitting for a lot of power, but again, not a great batting average. It's better than Freeman's, but 15 home runs. He's insane. He plays great defense as well. That's Matt Olson. Then we got number 8, Jared Walsh, LA Angels. This one I was not expecting at the start of the season. I thought it would be Pujols for the Angels, but nope, it's Jared Walsh. Pujols is gone. Jared Walsh is in, and look at that key stat, 364 on base percentage. That's better than Rizzo, and he has a player score that is just enough to get him into 8th at 178.5. Obviously, that's, what is it, like 2 points better than the last guy. Number 7, got Rhys Hoskins, Philadelphia Phillies. Key stat for him, 33 runs scored. He's scoring a lot of runs. He's playing good baseball, plays solid defense. He's a good first baseman, and he will be for years to come. Number 6, Carlos Santana. I was not expecting this. I thought Santana was just a veteran placeholder for the Royals, but he's actually been very good this year. 10 home runs, solid player score for him as well, 182.2. I've liked what I've seen from Santana. He's a good veteran. He provides some good veteran leadership on a young, kind of just an average Royals team, but he's been better than average. Number 5, Yuli Gurriel, Houston Astros. He's been insane. His batting average is soaring, 16 doubles. I thought he was a borderline top 10 going into the season. Now I have him in my top 5. Number 4, Jose Abreu, Chicago White Sox. My key stat for him is the 3.2 UZR because, I knew he was good at offense, but you never really think of Abreu as a great defender, but he has been so good at defense this year, and that's why he is number 4. Trey Mancini, number 3 with 44 RBI. He's been insane as well, coming back from cancer as well. He's my pick for All-Star, if not for Vlad. Then we got Max Muncy. He's my pick for NL All-Star, 527 slugging, and